You know, I'm thankful this morning that my chain's broken and that my debt is paid. I want to thank God for that opportunity for us to be able to be with Him forever whenever our life is over. And I'm just so thankful to have Him in my life. You know, I couldn't make a day without Him because He's always with me. He's always, wanting the good for me. So we're going to be in Luke 19 this morning. I've had this for a few weeks, so... And I was like, oh my goodness, they're going to think I'm just copying. I'm not copying. And I was going to read out of my regular King James Bible, but I'm going to read out of my NLT Bible. So it says, Jesus entered Jericho and made his way through the town. There was a man there named Zacchaeus. He was the chief tax collector in the region, and he had become very rich. He tried to get a look at Jesus, but he was too short to see over the crowd. I know exactly where he's standing there. You can't see over nothing. If somebody gets in front of you, that's it. You just ain't going to see. So he ran ahead and climbed a sycamore fig tree beside the road, for Jesus was going to pass that way. When Jesus came by, he looked up at Zacchaeus and called him by name. Zacchaeus, he said, quick, come down. I must be a guest in your home today. Zacchaeus quickly climbed down and took Jesus to his house in great excitement and joy. But the people were displeased. He had gone to be the guest of a notorious sinner, they grumbled. Meanwhile, Zacchaeus stood before the Lord and said, I will give half my wealth to the poor, Lord, and if I have cheated people on their taxes, I will give them back 4 times as much. Jesus responded, Salvation has come to this house today, for this man has showed himself to be a true son of Abraham. For the Son of Man came to seek and save those who are lost. When I read that, God started talking to me about the tree. That tree was planted because God knew someday his son will be walking by and there's somebody that needs to see his son. So it was planted for a reason. And it was exactly how it was planned. For Zacchaeus, where he was short and couldn't see over people, God made a way for him to be able to climb up this tree, to be able to see his son as he walks by. And he knew that he was going to want to go to his house because today was the day of salvation for Zacchaeus. And Zacchaeus did accept Jesus that day. And you know, with us, I got to thinking with us, we're planted like that tree in places. Just like I'm planted at Pearl Interactive Network. Even though I went to college and got my degree to be a nurse, that wasn't God's plans. That wasn't. It was mine. I would love to be in a hospital working. Love it. But God planted me there at a call center. I couldn't understand why. Why won't you let me be a nurse like I want to be? Why do I have to be here? But he knows all things. And he knows why I need to be there, because there's going to be somebody passing by that God has already ordained. Somebody's going to pass by, and I'm going to have to show them his son, Jesus. I am going to have to be the light for that person. And if I decided just to go on my own way and do what I want to do, that wouldn't happen. I'm not saying I'm nothing, but I want to be the light for a lost and dying person. Because that's all it is in this world, is people that are lost and dying every single day. I see a lot of them every single day that needs Jesus. I can't tell them. I can't boldly just go beat them with the Word of God or tell them, you're a sinner. You need Christ in your life. I can't do that. I have to do it in God's timing. Because if you do it in your own timing, it won't work. It will not work. You need to wait upon God and listen to God. And as I'm waiting and listening, I don't need to be grumbling about the job that He put me at. I need to be obedient. I need to stand still, as He says, and listen. Because you never know when that day will come that you've got to be there for that person or people or whoever He's got that's coming by that needs to see Jesus. I've often wondered the road that has been laid out for me. Not even at my work, not just at my work, but He places me different places. Just like my home. I couldn't understand that neither, why I was placed there. I do now. And it ain't because of me, it's because I was obedient to God to let my light shine. And He's seen it. He knew God. He knew God, but He had walked away. But by the time He left, He had God. He had God. So He's home to be with God. I'm not saying it's all about me. It's about me wanting to please the Lord and be obedient and do what He has called me to do. He's called me to preach. He's called me to be a witness. And that's what I want to do for Him. I never want to displease Him with anything I do. I've always wanted to please God. Always. It didn't matter what I went through or what I was going through or what I am going through. I want to please Him. And to sacrifice, I'm willing to do that. I'm willing to sacrifice. So if you find yourself not understanding a road that you're on, just stand still and listen. Just stand still. Maybe you think, Lord, why do I deserve this? He knows all things. He knows all things. He knows what He's doing. He's the master planner of everything. And just like Zacchaeus that day, he probably couldn't understand it because he was a wicked man. He was a tax collector. He was, and probably that day it just hit him. Knowing that Jesus was coming that way, and God and somebody or something planted a seed in his heart that day. And he wanted to see who this man was. And after he seen who he was, he wanted to get to know him personally, personal relationship with him. And he did it, and thank God. And it says make haste. But this says quickly. Whenever you feel Him knocking at your heart, go quickly. Don't sit there and debate what's going on. Go quickly. Because that might be the last time we can do that. That might be our last chance to be able to have a personal relationship with Jesus. And if you're doing something and you feel like, no, I shouldn't do that, but you want to do it anyway because the flesh says, yeah, that's okay. Just go on and do it. Don't do it. Go quickly and have an advocate with your Father. Get it right. We ain't got time to waste. We've got to get it right because He can come at any moment. any moment he can come for either me or all of us that's made ready for the Lord. So we've got to have it right. Just like Zacchaeus did that day, he made it right. He made it right. And he went and he showed it. We've got to show things. We can't just say out of our mouth. We've got to have the actions behind what we say. Because people looks at you all the time. And if you ain't got the actions behind you, then they're not going to believe you, and then they won't want to receive Jesus. Because they think they already have him if you're out acting like the world. They'll think they already have him, so why should they change? But we've got to show our actions of the one that has died for us. And that gave us a chance to be able to be with him for eternity. That's all I have today. If everybody want to find you a place to pray.